Hey guys, welcome to my first recap. We open up the story with we see a hooded figure walking into a castle. While recalling some events from before, he knocks on a giant door of a room where the Demon King generals and queen gather. The man is the world's strongest hero, Leo Demonheart, who defeated the Demon Queen, Echidna, and her generals, the Elite Four. He now stands in front of his old enemies to offer his services and help rebuild the Demon Queen's army. Although he states stats and confidently shoots a shot, Leo gets violently rejected by Echidna over and over and over. You see, the reason behind such violent behavior is because 1 year ago, when the demon army attacked, Leo single-handedly stopped the invasion after departing from his useless party. His feats earned the respect of one of the Elite Four, Dragon General Edward, who was Leo's first boss battle. In terms of Rose stats, he was the strongest out of the 4 gens and Leo managed to be the fastest fighter in all the land. Leo was able to beat him using an AoE spell that blew everything around him. He didn't need to match Marinesi's unrivaled speed. The third match was against Lily, the ruthless Fong, the Beast General. Leo first met her under a tree in a classic middle school setting, but unlike the classic, the kid had amnesia after she remembered who she is. Lily went into the attack but was knocked out by Leo pretty easily, and ever since she started to consider him her future husband due to her traditions, but the main man is not interested in little girls, hence their relationship is that of a big brother and small sister. Finally, the last foe he fought was Sorcerer General Echidna, who possesses great pools of mana and has mastered all types of spells. So the hero decided to play it safe and cast a spell that nullifies magic, turning her magical standoff into a physical one, which the Sorcerer General extremely lacks in. After some mild teasing and flexing of his power, Leo reveals that after defeating Echidna by his lonesome, which was tricky since she was both tough physically and magically, a rumor spread among humans that he was planning to become the next Demon King, so they sent assassins to end him, but the man who defeated the Demon Queen army couldn't bother with them. That said, the king, forced by his terrified citizens, reluctantly exiled Leo. Disillusioned with humans, Leo lived aimlessly for a while until he heard Echidna was trying to recruit soldiers to her defeated army and decided to join her instead. Hearing this, the four decided to hire Leo temporarily for a month without Echidna's knowledge. If he produces good results, they will try to convince Echidna to officially hire him, and in doing so, Leo hopes to be able to speak to Echidna and learn why amid the war did she prevent her soldiers from killing humans unnecessarily and potentially causing her defeat. The next morning, Leo heads to see his new supervisor, but she is still asleep. Leo changes his voice to the Demon Queen's and spooks Echidna. She wakes up and starts reporting about the situation. After Leo drops the voice and the busty chick wakes up 100%, he catches an ice bell that looked very strong from the queen's point of view. As the hero cleans the mess, he questions why she's so worked up as if he didn't enter her room without permission like a creep. That said, Leo soon realizes his new boss is stressed due to the army leaders returning to the demon world to recover from injuries given to them by Leo during the war, leaving only Echidna, who knows how to run an army without any help, hence why she is overworked, stressed, and exhausted. Leo decides to take over replenishing the mono-reactor that powers the Echidna could perform due to the wavelength of her magic. And that is where the main man comes in. After telling her he will only need 2 hours to replenish the mana, Loverboy teasingly demands a kiss if he performs well. Leo then uses a spell to hide his appearance so no one can identify him and heads out. Along the way, he sees the young servant woman, Dianette. Back in the general's meetings, Echidna tells her underlings to look after the busty chicks since she can tell he is overworking herself, and if she heads to talk to her she will only make her more stressed. Back in the office, Leo arrives tired, so he decides to take a breather while annoying Echidna as she works. The small break turns into an unusually long break. She tries to push him back to work but fails, so she threatens to fire him literally and figuratively. At that moment, someone knocks on the door, stopping the succubus in her track. It's Dianette reporting back on her success in replenishing the reactors. Leo explains he crafted a talisman tuned to Echidna's magic wavelength, allowing anyone with mana to replenish the reactors and remove the burden from Echidna. It being a devoted worker and somewhat perfectionist, she still can't fully relax and pass the job to her underlings, until Leo points out to her that Dianette and the other servants are all worried about her and want to help. Echidna tears up and agrees to ask for help moving on whenever she feels overwhelmed, making the girl skip from joy. After Echidna admits that Leo solved one of her problems, the main man hands her a list he made while watching Echidna and her cleavage work. He rearranged her priorities and circled what she can pass down to her underlings. Seeing our boy overperform, the hottie apologizes for misjudging him back during the interview. Leo brushes it off as something natural any employer would do and goes to resume his work, but first, lover boy tries to claim his promised kiss, only to be punished by the embarrassed Echidna. Later at night, she summons him again. Leo's new task is ensure the next shipment of food and equipment arrives safely, but the real task in hand is to ensure that Lily doesn't F up, since her mission plan, which was drawn by the way, simply instructs everyone to have fun together. Hence, the next day we see our boy chilling on an island located in the Largo Sea, where the dragon folk resides, and they provide the demon army with food and other resources. Leo narrates, about 3,000 years ago, a demon king led an attack on the human realm, and after his defeat, many demons decided to live in peace and coexist with the humans. Likewise, the dragon folk tried it but failed to find the same peace, hence they went to live remotely in the islands. Now on the island we see Lily is indeed too childish, as she only cares about racing her army to the next spot while destroying everything in her path. Leo sees nothing is organized properly, and due to the troops not being assigned their proper tasks, his single supply mission takes over a week. Also, to make matters worse, Leo's orders are ignored, since anything he needs to pass on must be confirmed by the boss first. Contemplating his situation back in his hut, Leo gets visited by the little general. She gets worried about him looking down, so she rushes out to find something to relieve him. At that moment realizes that Lily wants to do well and is held back by her immaturity. Hence, when she comes back, Leo fixes a snake bite and sends Lily into the mountains for healing herbs. By setting up problems that require her to think logically and use her workers effectively, he hopes to force a more mature way of thinking on her. Unfortunately, she transforms into her guardian form Fenrir, so when Lily encounters the first trial, a big rock that couldn't be broken by brute strength, she didn't need to look for some subordinates with magical powers to help her, as she was able to bypass the problems with stubborn strength. The next trial demands underlings with a special set of skills to find a unique slime able to multiply infinitely and then crush it. Lily just went ahead and speed ran that sea of slime by her strength alone. Seeing the hands-off approach has failed miserably, Leo in disguise meets the beast general at the last obstacle, a cliff she can't jump over, and attempts to give her logistical hints. Although it seems she got the hint and went to seek help from subordinates that can fly, she later appeared swimming in the river saying, "I ask everyone for help and you know what they said. I could just swim across the bottom and climb back up," which she did, and thanked the mustache man for his advice. After his plan proved to be a failure, Leo woke up the next day to find Lily next to him with the herbs, as well as a new plan to organize the troop and tasks more properly, surprising the main man, who figured all that the young general needed is just to be bluntly told the right way to do things. Back in the castle, Echidna is pleased with Lily's progress. Likewise, Echidna was impressed by the results of the new employee, Black Knight Onyx, Leo's cover identity, so she put on a request demanding a meeting with Black Knight Onyx immediately. How can one sleep safe and sound without getting nightmares knowing they will meet Big Boss the next day? Leo remembers a distant time when all he did was just kill demons while being looked on like a monster. When he meets Echidna, she welcomes him with joy and invites him to a fancy demonic dinner to reward his work. Forced to remove his helmet, he alters his face with magic glass second, turning his handsome macho man face into a cute femboy. Wanting to get out of this unwanted situation, Leo pulls up the oldest business party trick in the game. The queen proved to be a very challenging opponent, as she can handle her liquor like no one's business. Meanwhile, Echidna is having a cup of calming jasmine tea, hoping Leo will be fine. Speaking about the retired demon slayer, the main man keeps maneuvering his way through questions and using social tricks he learned along the way. He warms up to the queen and builds the courage to ask why she rejected hero Leo from her army, a furious response that Leo unwittingly prevented her from capturing the Philosopher's Stone from Renelle City. Leo had not known Echidna wanted the stone, as he knows its powers are greatly exaggerated through rumor. Echidna reveals the demon world is a polluted wasteland where everyone fights over resources, so she wants the stone to make the land fertile so the fighting can stop. Thus, she was forced to battle humanity, as she knows they would never just hand over a holy relic. She also reveals while she hates Leo for stopping her, she respects him doing his job to protect humanity. Echidna realizes Echidna is a kind person forced to commit evil acts for a good reason, and finds he wants to help her. Echidna asks why he, a human, joined her army, and he almost tells her the truth about being Leo, but they are interrupted by Echidna and Lily, informing them that Mearns has left to go on a journey and Edward plans to take his own life after failing to train them. Echidna goes to talk to Edward while Leo tracks down Mearns. A shadowless general jumps in, not realizing it was Leo in the dark. After finding him, Leo starts asking him why did he leave, and while in doing so he puts a magical chain around the fast boy's leg just in case he decides to run away before finishing the talk. Mearns admits he is scared that in 3 days he will have to start interviewing applicants for positions in the army, but he is terrible at conversations, therefore he wanted to leave for a nearby village and learn how to become a social person, but since Leo is here now he asks the ex-hero to teach him how to talk to others. With Mearns' return to the castle, Echidna is not surprised he was under so much stress, given that Mearns was a supporter of eliminating humans and now has to work with them. Edward, on the other hand, truly had tried to kill himself, but his impenetrable dragon skin kept saving him, so he is now being watched at all times by his daughter. The next day, Leo forces Mearns to masquerade as a waitress in the soldiers' food hall, and if we're being here, the maid outfit does make his deadly assassin blue eye pop off. Jokes aside, this is a drill to force the extremely introverted cute assassin to talk to all kinds of people. That said, Mearns still doesn't see the point of it, so Leo reveals he too is useless at talking to people while he was learning to be the hero, but he learned through practice and experience. Mearns practices on a group of ill-behaved werewolf mercenaries. He tries to listen to them and see stuff from their perspective till they turn lecherous, then listening be demanded. The only thing these fellas can communicate with is fists. The cold, witch-rouse assassin is forced to discipline them, almost revealing his identity. Even so, Leo is pleased that Mearns has learned the basics of conversation. All that is left is a practice run during the practice interview. Mearns asks Leo why he really joined their army, when his desire to see humanity destroyed is a blatant lie, since if he truly wanted, this catches the main man by surprise, and he tries to dodge the question, but when he sees how Mearns is serious, Leo drops the goofy attitude and listens to Mearns' backstory. The shadowless general explains he is half demon, half human, and was sold into childhood slavery, and when he found out he was a good enough assassin to survive. When Echidna entered the human realm, he volunteered to join the army, but was disappointed she spared more humans than she killed. Mearns briefly considered assassinating Echidna to lead the army himself, but resigned himself to being a general until he was defeated by Leo, who told him to experience the world not as an assassin, but for fun. Leo decides to reveal his biggest secret without even realizing he was doing it. He had opened his heart and revealed he is much older than anyone realizes, over 3,000 years, and was born in modern Tokyo where magic didn't exist yet. Demons invaded the human world, they were looking for a new home, and although some wanted to live peacefully, others found the only way to do so is through fighting, and since humans were very weak at the time, scientists created 12 living weapons called Demonhearts, including Leo. From the moment he was born, Leo was a hero, he knew no other way, it was his only purpose. The other Demonhearts all died in battle while Leo was made more durable, and still appears as a young man even after the modern world was left behind and society became what it is today. Leo continues to explain that he was tired of fighting and of being unable to die. So when humanity rejected him, he was filled with joy as he could finally have fun, and since joining the demon army seemed like the most exciting thing to do, that's what he did. Leo continued to talk about the old time and how he stopped the Demon King before the Queen, her father, but Marines, overwhelmed, cut him off. Leo finished the heart-to-heart talk with genuine words, how he grew fond of Echidna as well as the generals and wants to help them. In the following days, the miners found some sort of a mech battle Gundams, but before we get to the cool stuff, let us first get the boring out of the way. Leo learns from Julieta that Enver can't understand why his soldiers keep losing. Leo deduces that because Enver is a naturally gifted warrior, he can't understand others are not as gifted, so he assumes he just didn't train them hard enough. Seeing the redhead Hattie worried about her father, Leo promises Julieta that he will help her dad to see the way. Meanwhile, Marines inform Shutina and Lily about Leo's past, but they decide to continue trusting him and said if they see him acting sauce, they will tell her about the discovery the miners came across, and he gets an idea, but before he acts on it, the main man gets summoned to see the Queen, who tells him that Lord Enver has quit his position as a general and decided to rejoin as a common foot soldier to help him train with his underlings while his daughter oversees his old position. Leo proposes an idea to the Queen that might help to fix the situation. Back with the Dragon Lord, as he was telling his soldiers about the new plans, a relic from the age of technology is discovered. It's a machine golem called Phantom Nines, and it is as strong as high-ranked demons. He sets the Phantom to attack Edward, realizing too late that its safety restrictions have malfunctioned, forcing him to step in and tell Edward how to defeat it. Sensing its defeat, the Phantom 9 remotely activates the other Phantom 9s to provide assistance. they are destroyed by Echidna, who was waiting in case anything went wrong on the spot. Having required Leo's assistance against an enemy he didn't understand, Edward realizes that he can't judge his soldiers against his standards and had been training them all wrong. So he apologizes to them and is forgiven. Echidna has too much fun destroying the phantoms with Marine, suspecting it is her form of stress relief. As Black Knight Onyx, Leo is to be promoted by Echidna. He plans to reveal his identity to Echidna with Shatina's help after he assured her he has no intentions to betray them. Leo reads a book about Abridged, a famous demon known as the Joiner of Hands, which is also one of Echidna's favorite books. Leo was amused as he knew Abridged in Tokyo, and he didn't look like the book cover. Back in modern-day Japan, Abridged was held at slice and dice point by the main man. He was a talkative imp demon who came to Earth for a better life. But misunderstandings between humans and demons due to opening the portal in the middle of the city started the war. When Leo heard Abridged was preaching coexistence, trying to stop the fighting, he sought him out. While Leo was taking the demon to the next point, Abridged made it clear that he didn't want to stay in the human world after seeing the chaos that happened. When he and others tried to leave, the portal closed if he only could be done by higher-tier demons or the king himself. The little imp figures that it was the higher-ups' way to get rid of them while gathering info in the human world to prepare for a wider invasion, which would be pretty easy considering how weak the humans are. Seeing the little imp to be harmless and very informative, Leo decided to spare him. Abridged senses something off about the man he is talking to, so he asks Starboy his name to fill awkward silence, making the hero smile for the first time. I'm Anti-Devil Self-Development Bioweapon, Demonheart Series number 05 Leo. He was produced along with 11 other unstoppable bioweapons. They were able to imitate and eradicate the invaders using their own powers against them. And they also have unyielding loyalty, as such they would have no purpose once the war ended. Hearing this, Abridged couldn't but feel sad for Leo. You see, due to his immortality, he would live unneeded and completely alone till the next war that endangers humanity again. Leo had never considered this before. Amused by Abridged's genuine concern, Leo continued to hear him out till the containment squadron arrived and took the imp away. As he was being dragged away, Abridged swore to continue preaching coexistence until the war ended and made Leo promise to find a way to enjoy living once he no longer had to fight. Leo never saw him again but always remembered what Abridged told him, and now humans finally no longer want him. He has found a way to enjoy living, and that is along the ranks of the 4 generals. Since the queen doesn't know when the next portal would open, the awaiting faces a dilemma to stay or not to stay. Echidna concludes the only way to move forward is to return to the demon world immediately, since the second option is to attack the human capital with their current forces to take the stone, which is a guaranteed failure because even when they fought with all their might, the hero Leo was able to defeat them easily. And that's when the lowly was about to spill the beans but got shut by the MILF. The main man questions the queen's goals again to ensure she still wants what's best for her people without resulting in bloodshed. Once he hears a satisfying, genuine answer, Leo takes off the helm and reveals the Philosopher's Stone isn't an all-powerful magic item that grants any wish, but is a modern engine that uses a black hole to produce unlimited energy and cannot be used to make the demon world fertile again. He also reveals there are 2 on Earth, so to avoid war, Echidna needs only locate the second one, but she never turns around till he tells her to cut the crap and look at him. Upon seeing his face, Echidna gets stun-locked and her brain stops braining. After eventually calming down, the 4 generals explain everything and back their boy up to stay in the demon army, leaving the queen with no other option. And thus here we are as Leo leads them to the second stone in the mountains. He explains that the engine requires a user guide. Echidna plans to make peace with humanity so they can search for a guide together and activate both engines, one for humanity and one for the demon world. Echidna and Leo argue constantly, which ends in a snowball fight to the general's relief. Later, she asks how her boy knows so much about the mechanical era, to which he tells her, "I was born at that time 3,000 years ago," making him the ultimate weapon worth 100,000 demons. He then reveals to Echidna privately that due to his inbuilt purpose to protect humanity, he might go insane and cause war after war just so he can save humanity over and over again. Leo suddenly reveals the engines are the power sources of the demon hearts. He thus challenges Echidna and the 4 generals to prove their resolve. They must defeat him in battle, remove his heart, and use it to make peace with humanity and rejuvenate the demon world. If they fail, the demon world will remain a wasteland and he will personally destroy humanity. Echidna remembers a moment from her childhood. A lady told her not to cross swords with the hero if she faced him one day, and that day finally came. Since everyone is standing dumbfounded, Leo makes the first move and attacks Echidna, while claiming that since war gives his existence meaning he will save humanity even if he is the threat they need saving from. anibear swoops in last second to protect the queen, but he proves to be no match to Demonheart Leo and is kicked away without any serious injury, but he then catches someone protecting Echidna. Everyone questions Leo's actions and tries to reason with him, but the main man is so tired of protecting humanity and wants to die at this point that he can't due to his immortality. Bessie concludes that eventually he will destroy everything, so there is nothing for him to protect. Lily tries to reason with him, but he attacks her despite her being unarmed. Realizing he truly means to kill them, they begin fighting to kill him too. The queen charges head forward, backed by the sorcerer's firepower, which doesn't do shit to him. Edward states his respect to Leo for his power and for helping him become a better leader before unleashing his dragon blood and juicing up, yet with all the steroids, Ed still fell short and got defeated via magic. That said, quick feet, Murns manages to cut, improving once again. Even gods can die in fictional stories. Their fight turns into some shit coming right for Narjo. Murns accuses him of lying about wanting to either die or destroy the world, as it contradicts his attempts to help achieve peace before getting frozen up. Lily unwillingly fights him in her femur form but is defeated pretty easily. Believing she knows Leo's true motivations, Echidna decides to use an ultimate spell she inherited from her father, specifically designed to defeat a hero by disabling all their abilities for a single moment. Leo sees his entire life flash before his eyes, from the time of his creation through endless series of wars followed by times of peace. As thousands of years pass, he realized he hated the idea of peace and wanted the world to be continuously in danger. One day, after peace stretched for a long time, the intrusive thoughts started creeping in. His shadow needed destruction for him to have a purpose and belong. Thus, the errors in his psyche kept increasing due to developing a sense of self by growing an ego and a personality. His thought-masking program stopped and malfunctioned, leading him to the idea that he could be the one to threaten humanity, and so he began creating a new Demonheart series that would destroy the world rather than protect it. Luckily, when a soldier informed the hero about the demon world invasion, Leo snapped back to reality, stopped the intrusive thoughts from taking the wheel, and went back to destroy his unfinished creations as he realized he had gone insane. To protect humanity, he had to die, but he also had to leave his philosopher's stone heart to someone worthy of it. That was when he first met Echidna and realized she was the successor he needed. So he first defeated her, then joined her army to learn more about her, and now has chosen her to assist him with killing himself. Back to the present, the beam hits Leo, and for the first time he feels pain in his life and danger. Likewise, Echidna feels pain from the powerful spell she wanted someone to save him all along. Deciding to give him a death worthy of a hero, Echidna keeps him powerless, allowing the 4 generals to attack him. As Leo lies dying, he disables his internal security, giving them 300 seconds to remove his philosopher's stone. Echidna asks if he has any regrets, but he merely apologizes for causing trouble. Lily starts crying and tries to stop the queen, but gets held back. Echidna almost removes the stone, the human world in charge of peace between demons and humans. When he tells her she is running out of time, Echidna hits him with a "don't care," plus there is dirt on your face, plus your chest is open, plus L, plus ratio, like a true queen. We might paraphrase it a bit. Anyways, Leo begs to die, so Echidna demands to know his real motive. He admits by even contemplating destroying humanity, he has dangerously evolved beyond the orders his programmers programmed him with. Echidna tells him to evolve the ability to ignore the programming. Doubtful, Leo attempts to do so and is successful in deleting the order to protect humanity that has driven him mad for 3,000 years. As time passes, Leo seals the stone inside him forever and happily agrees to Echidna's request. Back in the castle, after what seems a wild night, Echidna asks if her new Jinn regrets losing what might have been his one chance to die. He denies it as he is happy to be helping Echidna. They are suddenly interrupted by Julieta, who at first thinks they are having a romantic moment, which Echidna violently, yet embarrassingly denies. Julieta reveals while they were gone a mountain of work piled up and the commanders start coming one by one seeking guidance from their generals. Leo starts a new chapter in his life after being able to quit heroing. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to watch more videos like these, turn on notifications, and leave a like and comment to help the channel out.